Today we're going to be talking about how to use Harvest. Now, Harvest is the time tool that we use to keep track of how we're spending our time here at Soapbox. And it's pretty simple to understand. For starters, mostly what you're going to have to do is this time page. So you can see here I'm clicked into the time page and you can see I have my timesheet. Right now I'm the director of operations, so I'm clocked under leadership and administration operations. Now, say I was going to go and clock in for a certain project. I can go over to this green button, go ahead and tap that, and you can see that we have a project and we have a task, right? We have broken this down pretty simply, and so you can see the different stages of each project. So for the Family Crisis Center documentary that we're working on, there's always going to be a creative brief section, a post-production, a pre-production, and a production. And so this just kind of breaks down the project into what phases, how much time are we spending in each phase. So if I were working on a creative brief, I would be here. If I were to be working on let's say if I'm working on a shot list, I'm going to be here. If I'm going to be filming, I'm going to be under production. And if I'm going to be editing, I'm going to be in post-production. Now, as you click into these, you can see that these are the different tasks that you have. And you're just going to select the department that you belong to. So for instance, if I'm filming Family Crisis Center, I'm going to be part of the video team. So I'm going to go down here and hit video. I'm going to hit start timer, and you can see here, it's going to automatically switch from what I was on to I'm filming the Family Crisis Center documentary here. Now I'm going to switch back here. So that way it keeps track of what I'm actually doing. Right now I'm doing operational tasks for leadership and administration. So I'm going to make sure that I'm clocked in under that. Right? And you can see you have multiple days to where you can see how many hours you're clocking. This is helpful for having a quick way to clock in and out. But do remember that this is separate from Workday. So make sure that you are clocking in on Workday and clocking in on Harvest. Next up, we have this project page. Don't worry about the expenses page. We don't utilize this feature on Harvest. So just make sure you skip over that. This project page gives you a really good rundown and just a table view of all of the projects that we're working on right now. And you can see that it has each section: creative brief, post-production, pre-production, and production. You can also see that they're all split by the client that it's for. So technical theater department, here's the technical theater training series, and each section under the correct client. Now, when it goes to making these, it's actually been made really simple. You can see that we have this pinned template at the top here. Now, if I were to make a creative brief, let's say for the marketing department of BYU Idaho, let's go ahead and duplicate this here, and it's going to pull up the page like this. So what we're going to do is we're going to find BYU-I marketing, right? And since we have no results for this, we've never done a project for BYU-I marketing. So let's go ahead and hit new client, and we're going to say BYU-I marketing, right? So now we have that as a new client. Now we can come down here, remove this copy that's made, and that's leaving the brackets. I'm going to change the project name. Let's say this is a research for marketing. Research BYU-I marketing. Okay. We don't have a course code available for this right now since this is an example project, but I'm just going to go in there and put 3050. Say that's our project code. We're going to go ahead and leave that. Scrolling down, you can see here we have the tasks that we can select. Right now we have defaulted to just the creative brief. And then we got to make sure that we have all of our team on, and it looks like this is defaulted by all the leadership in Soapbox. And so just make sure that you have the right person. Let's say that I'm missing Andrea. Let's make sure that she's on there, right? Let's go ahead and save this project. And now we can see it brings us to the project page here. And so you can see all the hours that we've spent on this, and you can see the tasks and how it's being spent. You can also tab through and see what team members are spending their time. And invoices is a feature we don't necessarily use for Harvest, but so for now, just the best view is just looking at how many hours we spend. And so that's pretty much how you make a project in Harvest. And you can see it here. If I were to delete this, say we finish the project, I'm going to want to archive this because I never really want to delete a project. But since this is an example and I don't want to keep this on our Harvest, maybe it might confuse people in the future, I'm going to go ahead and fully delete. It's asking me to full caps, type in delete to confirm it, right? So now that we have that taken care of, we can move forward to team. Moving on to the team page, you can see a list of all of our Soapbox employees and how many hours they're working. It says up here, the dark blue on the bar is billable and light blue is non-billable. Non-billable is usually project management, while the dark blue billable is usually creative work and or anything else that's paid from the client. You see these orange dots by people. This means they have an active timer running. And so this is helpful for seeing who's working right now and who's not clocked in. So if I come to work and say, oh, Jacob doesn't have a timer running right now. Again, here you can see how many hours they've worked this pay period or this week. And you can even see how many billable hours that they're working in comparison. You could set a capacity for each person to make sure that they're not going over their capacity. And so that's super helpful. Down here we have our contractors. These are our practicum students. And so this is the way that the practicum students keep track of their hours while they work. So this is a helpful page for that.